If you knew exactly where the next trend was going to begin, how would that help your trading results? We all have heard that the trend is your friend, or that you should follow the trend, or that the best trading you can do is trend trading. But the problem is most struggling traders have not found out how to build that friendship with the market. Well, all of that ends today. In this video, I'm going to share a key that can bring trading success to your business suddenly. I want you to be like this week's newly funded trader, Bob, who was able to pass his Take Profit Trader Challenge with 5 accounts. All right, so he finished with 5 accounts. He contacted me to just give a little bit of advice on, what I thought about continuing to copy accounts. But he stated that he went through the course, he loved it, and what he found out from going through the course is that he's been counter trend trading his whole career, and just understanding that made a difference for him. So if you're trying to pass a Profirm challenge, I have a free guide that can help you greatly called Finally Funded. Just comment below, give me the guide, and I'm going to send that right over to you. So by focusing in on just a few trading truths that we're going to share in this video, you can indeed change your trading journey on the sudden. Let's go deeper. All right, fam, we're going to jump right into it. I was thinking the other day that my titles and thumbnails really don't do my videos any justice, I'll be honest, because, you just have to be blessed to come across this video. I'll just be honest, to come across this video for the stuff that I'm about to show, because it's hard to come by. But, I wish I could have just did the video and said, life-changing video, but people probably wouldn't have clicked on it. But hey, for a struggling trader, this here may be a life-changing video. So let's jump right in. First, I want to talk about why most traders are losing, okay? Most struggling traders are actually losing because of you needing that dopamine hit from trying to catch a trend. All right. So here's the deal. Say we got this trend, right? And let's say, unfortunately, you catch this part of it, right? You catch this section of the trend, and whatever reason whatever reason it ends, let's just say you make 5 points here, okay? So you got in a trend, you made 5 points, and it was great, right? But the problem is this. After you make that 5 points, after you get the juices going, after that dopamine hit hits you, all of a sudden it's, oh man, that was awesome. I made so much money so quick. But I guarantee you're going to look at how much money you could have made if you hadn't let trade ride, right? So you're going to start looking at what you could have made. You're going to start looking at, hey, if I had ended earlier, I would have made this. So even though you just made 5 points, right? The excitement of trading, the dopamine hit that you got from clicking, the dopamine hit you got from seeing money click in, watching your counter go up, all of that now has this excitement in you, right? And you ready to go, right? But you only caught 5 points of it, but you may have left 20 points on the board, left 30 points on the board. So you know what you're gonna do? What you're gonna do? All of a sudden, it was so easy, right? It was so easy, it happened so fast. What you're gonna do now is jump back into the market, and let's talk about what happens when you do that. Okay, so you done hit for 5 points, right? But now you like, it's easy. Let's do it again. So you're like, yeah, let's keep going. So you sell again. You probably sell again here because you sold when you won last time, so you keep selling. But unfortunately, right when you start selling, the market starts doing this. But then you're like, no, it's gonna go down. So then you sell again, right? You sell again, but unfortunately, the market is doing this. You know what I'm saying? But you got to be right. Ain't no way, you're wrong. You made 5 points over here. Of course, it's going to keep dropping. So you sell again, right? And the market does this, right? So then you like, man, shoot, I'm getting towed up. Maybe that downtrend is over. We probably going to reverse. Yeah, let's buy. So then you buy right here, right? But then the market does this. Right? And then it goes back up, and then you just like, yeah, it's going up. So then you buy again right here, right? And the market does this. So now what has happened? What's happened is that because you made this little 5 points, right? You was feeling yourself, right? You just feel like, hey, I'm gonna keep going. It's gonna happen. It's gonna keep trucking, and you jump in, and then you get caught in sideways action, right? because you got all this adrenaline going from the trend, but you haven't realized that the trend has stopped. We've went into a sideways market, but you still got that urge going, right? You still, you know what I'm saying? You still feeling lucky. You still, you know, all of a sudden it's easy. And now you've given back those 5 points, given back another 5 points you didn't have to get, then gave back another 5 points. You see what I'm saying? So real easy, people turn winning days into losing days. This is just one reason why a lot of people struggle, because you're chasing that trend, you're chasing the dopamine hit of that trend, and then just counter trend trading. But I'm gonna show you though that you are on the right page, but most struggling traders haven't focused in on this truth. Let's go back to the charts. All right. So this is just one example, you know, of something. And the other thing people do is, you know, they start selling too late and they get caught, right? And then they counter trend trading. You know, this thing is dropping and you buy here, you buy here, you buy, you know, you steady trying to buy in and drop in market, steady getting chopped up. That's what happens to most people. All right, now let's go deeper. So for those who have subscribed to this channel, you've seen me say this, I don't know how many times. The market can only do three things, right? Either it's moving sideways, it's trending up, it's trending down. All right, that's the basic understanding. In this video, we're gonna go deeper. So I've been drawing it several different ways, but we're gonna go even deeper, okay? Because I want to explain something to you. I gotta go back and look at the camera for this one. Let me explain something to you guys. The powers that be, the unseen hand, the market makers, the institutional banks, the central banks, all right? Trading is a banking game, all right? You're not going against me. This is something, I'm going over this because it's important for you to understand. People are playing this game and don't even know who the competition is, right? People are in trade and you're trying to trade futures ES, you're trying to trade other stuff. You don't even know who the competition is. I am not your competition, which is why I'm on YouTube giving away free information to help people become better traders, because it's not me against you, right? It's retail traders only make up about 2% of the whole entire market, no matter what market you're in. All right, so we're in the futures market. Futures market is dominated 90% by institutional banks. All right, so when I win a trade, I'm not taking from another little poor retail trader. No, I'm taking from the giants. This is a big boy game. When I win, I'm taking from Bank of America. When I win, I'm taking from Barclays. When I win, okay, I'm not taking from some other retail trader. No, I'm taking from the big boys. All right, this is the big boys game. Understand that, because it's very important for you to understand who the competition is, right? If you want to catch a trend, you have to understand who the competition is. Let's go deeper. So here's what I'm trying to say. The competition is the banking system, okay? And they have put out a whole bunch of bad common trading knowledge for one sole purpose: to get you, the retail trader and every other trader who just doesn't know, to ignore the range. They actually want you to ignore the range, all right? And here's the thing, the range is key. The range is the key to everything. But the powers that be, they want you to ignore the range. So they put out information to say, you know, you hear people say, don't trade the range, or stay out of the range, or there's all this fear around the range, all right? There's all this fear around the range, when the range is the most important thing to focus on, all right? So if you like to keep things simple, like me, all right, the simple trader calls this a range, all right? I said I'm gonna go deeper though. The definition, you know, Mr. Definition, I'm Mr. Simple, I call this a range. Mr. Definition is gonna call this accumulation, okay? Mr. Definition is gonna call this accumulation. And Mr. Understanding is gonna call this balance, all right? So let me explain. I just call it a range. But let me tell you what's really happening when you have a range. When you have a range, what's truly happening is that you have balance in the market. The market is considered to be an efficient market. What does that mean? So if I say we have balance, all I'm saying is that JP Morgan Chase, as the buyer, is saying this price, this is a good price. This price we're at right now is a good price. Fair price. I'm willing to buy. Then you have Bank of America down here saying this price is a good price. I am willing to sell. Okay. So what you have here is a equilibrium of the same amount of buyers matching orders with the same amount of sellers. All right. So when you have a range, what you have are major banks, major institutions accumulating orders. That's why some people call this the accumulation stage. They are placing their orders in here slowly but surely, not too heavy, not too heavy. All right. They just get this. But now here's a very important fact. Let me ask you a question. Let me look in the question. Let me look in the camera. This is a very important question. You need to be able to answer this to be able to trade, to be able to make trading decisions. You need to be able to answer this question. What moves the market? I'll wait. What moves the market? Not me, all right? Not me and my little few grand, right? Not even me with my $100,000 Profirm accounts. I still don't move the market, right? What moves the market? You want to know what moves the market? Market orders move the market. Let's go back. Okay, so here's what I'm saying. Let's just talk BOA. I don't know why. Bank of America. All right. So Bank of America has been slowly accumulating orders through here. Just put them in little by little so that, they don't tip their hat, to JP Morgan Chase. So they're putting them in, But eventually Bank of America is going to say, you know what? We got enough orders in now. Let's really execute our plan and let's enter a very large market order, right? Sooner or later, Bank of America is going to enter a very large market order, and the market, when they enter that market order about 500 contracts or 1,000 contracts or 50,000 contracts at one time, now all of a sudden the market does this, bam. And we off to the races. And everybody's wondering what just happened. All right. But all of a sudden we go from nothing to boom, we got a breakout. All right. What caused that breakout? What caused that breakout was that Bank of America entered a whole bunch of orders. And they started what? What did they start? They started the trend. Okay. So here's the secret of the day, folks. While they have you ignoring the range, what I'm saying is that you should be, as a trader, you should be seeking out the range. You should be seeking out where is their balance, because here's the key. One keyword here is balance. Let me give you a new keyword, imbalance. So the market is either in a balanced range situation, or one of the two banks or 4 banks or 5 banks or 6 banks that participate in this market have entered a whole bunch of orders that has caused the market now to be imbalanced. You see this? This area right here is now imbalanced because only one side has control. That's an imbalance. Here was balanced, here is imbalance, right? So all you have to do is wait for our classic breakout pullback trade, which we teach. We break out, we wait for a price to come test this same breakout area. And if you get a beautiful signal candle out, my people, this is how you catch the brand new trend. Because guess what? The origin of every trend is a range. Let me say that again. The origin of every trend is a range. And it's the origin of every trend because whatever institution or banks are in here doing their thing, through here, everything is balanced, right? But sooner or later, somebody's going to take control. So for you as a trader, all you have to do is learn how to focus in on finding the range. Then wait for the breakout, pull back entry, and bang. Now here's the thing. You could trade the range. You don't have to just wait. Man, okay, listen. Bitcoin has been stuck between 83K and 85K for like two or 3 weeks now. You know how many trading days you could have just won down here at 83, then sold up here at 85, then bought down here at 83, then sold up here at 85, then bought down here at 83, then sold up here at 85. You would have made a killing on Bitcoin in the last 2 weeks just playing the range, all right? So, first of all, once you find the range, play it. When it's at the bottom, you buy. When it's at the top, you sell. Fade the range, easy money, all right? Now, after you have the range identified as a price action trader, all you have to do is wait for a breakout. Don't go yet. Wait for it to pull back and test the new breakout area. This was support. Now it should be resistance. Then, if you get another beautiful candle out, this, people, again, is the beginning of a trend. All right. So now you know how to get in at the beginning of a trend. So I keep coming back to keep coming back to passing challenges. Listen, if you get in at the beginning of a trend, how many points are we talking about, right? In most challenges, you got to get to what? 100. I like the 100K. You got to get to 6,000, right? 50K. You got to get to 3,000, right? All right. Let's talk Profirm challenges real quick, because it's stuff like this. Let's just say you have a range, and this one ain't good, but I'm just saying we had a range here. We had a failed breakout to the top and it came back in the range. Then we broke out the bottom. Here's your breakout. Here's your pullback. Here's your pullback, all right? And here's your entry candle right here. Beautiful, all right there. Bang, all right? Now, this is just a random, and this ain't even a whole trend. This is a piece of a trend, it looks like here. If you go right here at 51.94, I'm just gonna take it down to here, 51.58. All right, so 51.94 minus 51.58 equals 36 points. All right, 36 points. Let me write that down. We're gonna do some different math here. 36 points. Let's say you were at one contract. So that's $50 a point. That alone is $1,800, okay? Let me get another color. So this run right here, this breakout pullback, all right? This breakout pullback entry right here, where you catch the beginning of a trend, goes for, will make you $1,800 at one contract. All right, and we know to just double that as we go, you know what I'm saying? So if I needed to get to, I can make $1,500 a day if I'm trying to get to a 50K account, all right? I would already have it with one contract. If I had went 2 contracts and made 3,600, right? This same one trade, if I was trying to get 3K a day to get half of the 6K a day I need for a 100K account, again, I made 3,600 in one trade. So what's my point here? My point is, if you focus on finding the range, and either you can fade the range and or just wait for a breakout pullback entry, okay? It is very possible to get half of what you need for a Profirm challenge in one trade, all right? One trade, people, all right? I just can't say that again. And if you need help again, download my free guide, Finally Funded. Just comment below, give me the guide, and I will send that right over to you. Now listen, people, this is some very powerful stuff, because I suspect if you were to just focus on, if your next 5 trades was all breakout pullbacks out of a range, man, I'd say you took 10 of them. If you took 10 of them, I would expect you to win 6 to 7 of them. 60, 70%. That's what I would expect. Even let's just say you want 50 of them, 50% of them. And you took those your next 10 trades, you would be funded. I mean, what else is there to talk about? You would be funded. We already saw from the numbers, you could easily be funded. So hey, listen, the origin of every trend is a range. The origin of every trend is a range. And if you can wrap your mind around that and just focus on finding the range, focus on being patient, only taking range fades, only taking breakout pullbacks, I believe you could change your trading journey on the sudden. All right, so I greatly hope you I greatly hope you caught this one. I think this video is one of, I believe I uncovered some gems in this one. I hope you're picking it up, because if you can just if your next 10 trades are a breakout pullback and you've been struggling to get funded, man, when you get funded, come back and let us know. This is truly going to help you. And if you need a little bit more help with your risk management, definitely download my free guide, Finally Funded. Just comment below, give me the guide. I'll send it right over to you. So until next time, my name is JD, and as always, I wish you increase on the sudden. Bye-bye.